So this is part 3 of add a GOAT to every college football team. As I explained in one of the other videos, there are a number of GOATs, if you will, for different teams. Take Syracuse, for example. Jim Brown is one of the top 5 GOATs of all time, but they also had a guy there, Donovan McNabb, and he's a GOAT too. He's just a more recent GOAT, a newer GOAT. When choosing these GOATs, I tried to choose on recency bias. So the newer the player, or if they are having current success in the NFL, I factored those things into choosing the GOAT. You will see TJ Watt on Wisconsin. You will see Brent Stockstill at Middle Tennessee State. You will see Ben Roethlisberger at Miami of Ohio. You will see Derrick Henry at Alabama. You will see Justin Herbert at Oregon. You will see some of the greatest players to ever play at these schools. And right now, most of them are in their junior seasons. Some of them are in their sophomore seasons. And why they are redshirt sophomores is because, honestly, the CPU is just dumb and I can't control every school. What's also happened is that a handful of guys have entered the transfer portal, like Eric Dickerson at SMU left to go to Miami. Barry Sanders left Oklahoma State to go to Penn State. There's nothing really I can do to stop guys from transferring. So before we get started on our junior year, let's check out the transfer portal. It looks like only 2 guys entered the transfer portal that I created. They are biggies, it looks like. Deebo Samuel. Let's look to see where he is transferring to. So Deebo Samuel is transferring to Clemson. And if I remember right, Clemson got Roddy White transfer from UAB last year. So basically their wide receiver room is stacked. And then it looks like Justin Jefferson is transferring from LSU, which is kind of interesting. So I'll be very interested to see where he transfers to. And he transfers to Penn State. So Penn State, who had Otto Graham at quarterback, transferred from Northwestern last year, and Barry Sanders now has Justin Jefferson as a wide receiver threat. I think that the Heisman Trophy preseason watch list is the exact same as last year. Preseason All-Americans: Matthew Stafford, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Justin Jefferson. So the 2 guys that transferred are first team preseason All-Americans: Amon-Ra St. Brown, Rob Gronkowski, Joe Staley, Aiden Hutchinson and Max Crosby, Sue Donald Parsons, Ray Lewis, TJ Watt, Jalen Ramsey. Second team preseason All-Americans: Justin Herbert, Barry Sanders, Marshall Faulk, Dorial Green Beckham. For those that don't know about Dorial Green Beckham, look him up. One of the most gifted wide receivers I've ever seen in my life. Calvin Johnson, Steve Largent, Hunter Henry, Reggie White, Myles Garrett, Ed Oliver, Mean Joe Green, Khalil Mack, Manti Te'o, Josh Hines Allen, Jesse Bates. So we're in week 0. We will advance a couple weeks. Lamar Jackson and Louisville beat Alabama. Okay, so Baylor is in at 1. Miami's moved up to 2, with Michigan at 3, and Florida, Oregon, Auburn, Nebraska, Iowa State's popped in there, and State lost to Clemson, so they fell. Oh, Utah lost to Texas Tech, and Patrick Mahomes 31-13. So they fell from 9 to 21. Cincinnati and Boston College entered the top 25. The Heisman Watch: Robert Griffin III, Patrick Mahomes, Tim Tebow, Baker Mayfield. And this is a huge game. Alabama, Ohio State. Alabama must have beaten Ohio State. Let's check the top 25 again. So Michigan is taking over number 1. Oregon is number 2. Baylor number 3. Miami, Tech, Florida, and State has moved up considerably. Notre Dame, the winners of the national championship last year, are in at 11. There's Lamar Jackson in Louisville at 4-1. There's Brett Favre and Southern Miss at 4-0. Boise State with Kellen Moore at quarterback. And Texas Tech, surprisingly, only 25th, even though they're 6-0. The Heisman Watch: Justin Herbert, Mahomes, Brent Stockstill, Diego Pavia friend of the program, and then Baker Mayfield is 5th. Man, I would love for a small school to sneak into the top 12. That would be so cool. Florida has moved to 1. Michigan has fallen to 2 without losing. Baylor comfortably in at 3. Alabama on their heels. Auburn with 2 losses is still at 7. Iowa State's jumped up to 8. Texas Tech is up to 9th now. Southern Miss up to 13. Penn State with 2 losses, but they are 14th still. Doug Flutie and Boston College lost to Stanford this last week, so they fell to 15. Washington with 2 losses, they fell to 16. Ohio State has 3 losses. They're 91 overall. Rob Gronkowski and the Arizona Wildcats at 5-2. Alex Smith from Utah ascends to number 1 with Tim Tebow at number 2. Robert Griffin the 3rd. Patrick Mahomes at 4. And Justin Herbert at 5. Alabama now will play the undefeated Florida Gators, though. Let's see how that goes. Wow, Alabama beats the undefeated Florida Gators 20-17. Talk about a close game. They may see each other in the SEC championship game. Baylor in at 2. Oregon with 2 losses at 3. Auburn with 2 losses at 4. Iowa State's jumped to 5. Florida fell from 1 to 6 in the close loss. Texas Tech lost to number 5 Iowa State by 3 points, so they fell 1 spot. Clemson lost to number 14 Louisville, so they are now at 16 with 3 losses. And Alex Smith and Utah have 3 losses as well. And rounding out the top 25, Wisconsin, UNLV, Southern Miss, and Boston College. RG3 has taken over as the number 1 guy. Tim Tebow is still at 2, Mahomes at 3, Herbert at 4, and that definitely doesn't look like Donovan McNabb, I know. He is 5th. Let's look at the award watch list. There's just a slew of great quarterbacks there for Player of the Year. Head Coach of the Year, Baylor, Southern Miss, and Iowa State. Best Defensive Player, Josh Hines Allen, number 1. Best Running Back, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Marshall Faulk. D'Angelo Williams at 7 for Memphis. Michael Turner at 10 for Northern Illinois. Roddy White at 3. Randy Moss at 5. Deebo Samuel at 10. The Lombardi Award, Max Crosby at number 1 right now. Best tight end, Rob Gronkowski. George Kittle 5th. Best linebacker, Josh Hines Allen. Hassan Reddick for Temple coming in at 2. Brian Urlacher coming in at 4. Let's look at the CFP bracket if it were to be today. So Alabama, Baylor, Oregon, and Louisville would be in the top 4. And then UNLV would be in. Auburn would be in. Syracuse, Michigan, Notre Dame, Iowa State, Miami, and Florida. So no Penn State. Number 1 Alabama, number 5 Auburn in the Iron Bowl. That should be a game. Looks like Alabama won that game, and they will play the Florida Gators in the SEC championship game. So Iowa State is 3rd. They have 31st place votes. That is amazing. That's with Brock Purdy leading them. Penn State is at 8, but they have 3 losses. Illinois, they're up to 9th. Baylor must have lost, and so they fell from 2 to 10. Auburn fell, of course, after the Alabama game. Florida lost to somebody, but still got into the SEC championship game. Patrick Mahomes and Texas Tech, 17. New Mexico State, with 4 losses, jumps into the top 25 at 18. Rice jumps in at 19. Kansas State jumps in at 20. Southern Miss 21. Middle Tennessee State 22. Memphis State for old school people. Old Dominion and Liberty. Let's look at the conference championships. Who plays each other. So it is Liberty and New Mexico State, Central Michigan and Ball State. I believe Ball State's quarterback is Nate Davis, one of the best quarterbacks I ever saw as far as a leadership perspective. Iowa State plays Baylor. Southern Miss plays Marshall. Florida plays Alabama. Rice plays North Texas. UNLV versus Fresno State. Illinois will play Oregon, and Louisville will play Miami. The Heisman watch, Diego Pavia is in at 2. That is fascinating, and we like that because he is, like I said, a friend of the program. Jordan Love is at 3. Patrick Mahomes at 4. Let's look at the CFP bracket before the championship games. New Mexico State is in there now, but obviously if Liberty wins, they may get in, or someone else may sneak in. Nebraska will seemingly make it in. Louisville right now is going to make it in. Penn State's going to make it in. But all of this could change as we see the conference championship game. Wow, so New Mexico State avenged last year's loss to Liberty and beat them 42-28. Ball State beat Joe Staley in Central Michigan 23-14. Baylor in the slight upset over Iowa State 36-33. That's a crusher for Iowa State. The Brett Favres beat Marshall 31-21, and Randy Moss 6 catches, 84 yards. Florida beat the brakes off of Alabama 49-7. North Texas and Mean Joe Green beats Rice 31-19. UNLV beats Fresno State, and that's UNLV led by quarterback Randall Cunningham. Oregon beat Illinois 15-14, and Miami beats Louisville by 3, 31-28. Let's see if Lamar Jackson played well. 252 yards passing, 2 TDs, 8 carries, 33 yards, 1 touchdown. Eric Dickerson had 93 yards on 16 carries and 3 TDs. And let's check on Brock Purdy. Let's see what he did. Well, RG3, 209 yards passing, 2 TDs, 1 interception. Wow, he had 153 yards rushing on 16 carries and 2 TDs. Brock Purdy, 333 yards passing, 3 TDs, no interceptions, 74% completion percentage. RG3 wins the Heisman Trophy with 3,500 yards passing, 40 TDs, and 2 interceptions, and no telling how many rushing yards he had. But that was kind of RG3 when he played at Baylor. If you guys remember, he was unstoppable. Oh, wow. So Alabama lost, so they fell to 5th, so they do not get a bye. So they have to play Otto Graham, Barry Sanders, and Justin Jefferson. New Mexico State will play Donovan McNabb and Syracuse. Michigan will play Nebraska. So 2 defensive players, Aiden Hutchinson and Dominic Sue. And then Illinois will play Iowa State. First team All-American, RG3, of course. Aaron Jones. Derrick Henry, first team All-American. Rob Gronkowski makes it. Joe Staley makes it. Aiden Hutchinson, Jason Pierre-Paul from USF. Mean Joe Green, Ed Oliver, Micah Parsons, Ray Lewis, TJ Watt, Charvarius Ward from Middle Tennessee State, and Jesse Bates of Wake Forest. Second team, Diego Pavia from New Mexico State. Bijan Robinson from Texas. Marshall Faulk, Notre Dame. Randy Moss. Jason Taylor from Akron. Max Crosby and Dominic Sue. Aaron Donald. Khalil Mack for Buffalo. Fred Warner. Josh Hines Allen, Kentucky. And of course, the transfer, Jalen Ramsey at Georgia. So these small schools made it in and finished in the top 25, but did not make it into the final 12, if you will. Middle Tennessee, Southern Miss, Memphis, Rice, Old Dominion, and UConn. New Mexico State is playing at Syracuse. They are down by 6 points. They're beginning to use their timeouts as Syracuse just got a first down. Donovan McNabb, number 6, because number 5 was not available. There's 3rd and 3, though, with 1 minute 50 seconds left. This could be the game, and it's not, as New Mexico State's defense comes up big and makes Syracuse have to punt. So New Mexico State and Diego Pavia will get the ball back on New Mexico State's own 31-yard line with 1:05 left and no timeouts. And Pavia is sacked to make it 2nd and 15. Oh, he puts that right in there. Number 6 does not get out of bounds, which is just dumb. And that is picked by number 7. That will be the game. So Syracuse, the Orangemen, will move on in this tournament. New Mexico State fought a good fight. McNabb, the 60-year-old man, with 202 passing yards and 2 TDs. Pavia, 308 yards passing, 4 TDs, not 1 pick. He only had 16 yards rushing. Would suspect some of that was sacks. So with 1:57 left in the Michigan-Nebraska game, Nebraska is up 27-10. So Michigan furiously trying to come back from the 17-point deficit. Michigan seemingly has given up as they are punting on 4th and 20. If you're a Nebraska fan, you got to be pretty happy. There's Dylan Raiola, a senior, 166 passing yards, 2 TDs. Sue had 4 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 sack. No telling how many times he was double teamed though. Wow, Aiden Hutchinson, 1 tackle for loss, no sacks. So Illinois is mildly upsetting Iowa State 24-17, but Brock Purdy and the Cyclones have the ball at their own 31-yard line with 2:06 left and are attempting to drive, and Purdy just threw a pick. Illinois intercepted that. Not a good sign for Iowa State. 2:01 left, and Chase Canada, the senior, intercepts Brock Purdy. So 3rd and inches. Not only did Iowa State stop them, but did they get the ball back? They did. They made Illinois fumble, and they now have the ball with 1:48 left. So Brock Purdy and the Cyclones have another chance. Drew Surgis, the senior, knocked that ball out. Well, this game has changed in a heartbeat. Purdy completes that pass at the 46-yard line. 1:40 left. Just a short completion. Plenty of time still left. 3rd and 1. Oh, ball knocked down by the Illinois defensive back. It is 4th and 1. This is the game right here. And Iowa State, Hobbs gets the first down. Oh, Purdy. That was a nice throw. Purdy overthrows his receiver. 48 seconds left. 2nd and 10. An 8-yard pass. So it'll be 3rd and 2. Oh, that one's broken up by 42. 30 seconds left. 4th and 2. Jet touch pass right there. Iowa State gets a first down and calls their final timeout. They are down by 7, and Purdy throws a touchdown to number 0. An extra point will tie this thing up. Maybe going to overtime, folks. Iowa State wins the coin toss and elects to defend first. 3rd and 7 for the Fighting Illini. Oh, that is picked. Illinois quarterback threw that up, and the Iowa State defensive back intercepted it. So Iowa State at this point just needs a field goal to win this game. The lob by Purdy gets a 7-yard gain. Oh, touchdown Iowa State. They don't try to kick a field goal, they go for the touchdown. Iowa State is moving on in overtime. They beat the Fighting Illini. That's what you missed right there, is a bunch of sick moves by Barry Sanders. That was just pure nastiness. Penn State is up by 2 scores on Alabama with 3:17 left in the 4th quarter. Pass to Derrick Henry gets nowhere. Oh, and the sack by Penn State, the 2nd of the game at the 2-yard line. It is 4th and 26 for Alabama with 2:47 left. They got to go for it, and they throw a short pass. So the ball goes back over to Penn State, with Penn State up by 14 points. Ball goes to Barry. Look at those moves. Barry's only carried it 16 times today, but 105 yards rushing. Penn State will just try to run this clock out, and I don't know if Alabama's going to try to stop it. There goes Barry in for another Nittany Lion touchdown. So Penn State is going to beat Alabama 42-21. Otto Graham, the player of the game, 257 yards, 3 TD passes. Derrick Henry, 14 carries, 71 yards. Max Crosby with 6 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and no sacks. Micah Parsons, 6 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and a half a sack. Barry Sanders, 19 carries, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns. 6 catches, 91 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's a good day. So here is the updated 2027 college football playoff bracket. First up, we have Syracuse versus Florida. So Florida is up 34-17 over Syracuse. Donovan McNabb and the Orangemen are trying desperately to get back into this game, but Florida has been unrelenting so far. There goes McNabb, Donovan McNabb with 251 passing yards and 1 TD. This game is the Florida Gators, but we watch as Syracuse tries. Florida will move on to the next round. Syracuse makes it 34-24, but Florida recovers the onside kick. Tim Tebow comes out, take the snaps. He hands off, but there is a fumble and Syracuse recovers it. So 10-point deficit. McNabb gets sacked on that play right there. Not good for Syracuse. And he gets sacked again. 4th and 17, Syracuse. This will be it. And a Florida defender knocks it down. Tebow will just kneel it out. Tebow 284 yards passing, 3 TDs. So the Nebraska Cornhuskers are beating Oregon 17-3 late in the fourth quarter. 1:56 remaining. Raiola is just handing the ball off. Nebraska's defense came to play today and totally shut down Justin Herbert and the Oregon offense. Raiola hits a receiver for a Nebraska touchdown. The Cornhuskers are going to the next round. Now that is, I would say, a surprise. Not that Nebraska's not a good team, but when faced with big games in the last number of years, they haven't fared well. And there goes Oregon to do what they do, and that's score touchdowns quickly. They haven't done it all game. So it'll be 24-10. So the onside kick by Oregon, and Nebraska recovers it. So Oregon with no timeouts. Raiola will just run this clock out. And that's it, folks. Raiola, 232 yards passing and 3 TDs. Justin Herbert, 17 of 31, 260 yards, 1 TD. Only 4 carries for 7 yards, so they shut him down. Let's check out Sue. He had 6 tackles. 1 tackle for loss and 1 sack. I would suspect he was double teamed a lot. Iowa State, the Cyclones are up 31-21 over Baylor. RG3 continues to complete passes and drive Baylor down the field. Oh, that was a sack right there. They went play action, and a Cyclone player got back there and sacked RG3. Ooh, RG3 cannot get away from the rush of Iowa State. So the turnover by Baylor gives the ball back to Iowa State. 3rd and 14 with 1 minute and 1 second left. We'll run it again. No gain. Iowa State will now punt it back to Baylor. They get off a pretty good punt. Understand it's still a 2-possession game, and RG3 is sacked again. I don't know if I've seen him sacked so many times. 3rd and 18, he throws to his halfback. They are short the first down by 2 yards. It is 4th and 2. They're going for it. They have to. 20 seconds left. Interception, Iowa State. That's going to be a pick 6. RG3 almost got him, though. James Valencia with the pick 6. So that's it. Baylor fans, unfortunately, not this year. Brock Purdy with 318 passing yards and 3 TDs. We're here at the Peach Bowl, and Penn State is up on Miami 42-35. It has been back and forth. Miami went up first, and then Penn State came back. Then Miami went back up. Penn State came back. Otto Graham is sacked, so that makes it 4th and 24. Penn State will have to punt it. So Eric Dickerson and the Miami offense will try to put 7 points up on the board. Miami goes deep. Oh my goodness. Touchdown, Miami. Miami ties it up at 42 with 1:38 left in the game. Otto Graham, Barry Sanders, and Justin Jefferson and crew will try to get Penn State in field goal position at least. That is a complete pass. Is that Justin Jefferson? Number 2, touchdown, Nittany Lions, Justin Jefferson. Ball at Miami's own 15-yard line. They have no timeouts, but a minute 20 seconds. 2nd and 10 for the Hurricanes. Oh, that's picked by 12 of Penn State. He almost takes it all the way back. He gets back to the 6-yard line, but it doesn't matter because Penn State will just kneel this out. Penn State is going to the Final Four, 49-42. What a game. Justin Jefferson, 3 catches, 196 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Dickerson only got 9 carries. He had 170 yards rushing, 10 broken tackles, 2 TDs. Ray Lewis led the team with 7 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. What else could he do? Otto Graham, 18 of 25, 337 yards, 5 TDs, no interceptions. Barry Sanders, 11 carries, 214 yards, 1 TD. Let's look at Micah Parsons. They shut him down. 2 tackles, no tackles for loss, no sacks. So we're in the semifinal game, 1 of 2. Florida is up on Nebraska, 20-14. With 2:36 left in the 4th quarter. 4th and inches for Nebraska, and they will go for it. And they got a first down. Nebraska was seemingly in command of this game early on, but Florida has made a comeback, and Nebraska has not answered so far. But this is their best drive since their early success in the game. Raiola back to pass, and he finds his receiver, gets down to the 2.5-yard line. 1st and goal for Nebraska. Touchdown, Cornhuskers. With this extra point, they will go up 21-20 over Florida. But Florida has 3 timeouts and 1:45 left, and a man by the name of Tim Tebow at quarterback. So Florida starts at their own 14-yard line. Tebow scrambles. He gets away from a sack, and he slides for a 5-yard gain. That was a huge play for Florida. Oh, this time he's not getting away. It is 3rd and 16. Oh, 4th and 23. Ball on the 1.5-yard line. Florida has to go for it. Interception, Nebraska. Interception. Pick 6. A 19-yard pick 6 for the Cornhuskers. Florida fans, Nebraska fans everywhere. This is a good one. That throw was on point. The receiver did not catch it. Oh, Tebow is sacked seemingly in the end zone, but I guess his momentum carried him back from the 4-yard line. The blocking is just awful. 4th and 22. And that is the game, folks. The Cotton Bowl goes to the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Raiola with a modest day, 14 of 20, 186 yards, 1 TD. Sue with 6 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 2 sacks. Tim Tebow, 18 of 26, 216 yards, 1 TD. 18 rushing attempts for Tebow, 25 yards, and a touchdown. So we are in the semifinal, the 2nd semifinal game, and Brock Purdy has just thrown a costly interception. Not that that would have saved Iowa State, as they're down 17. Penn State now has control of the ball, but more importantly, the clock. Penn State, for the most part, has dominated this game. See, I told you anyone could make it into the national championship. And there goes Barry Sanders in for a Penn State touchdown. Now, I know Penn State has a little bit of a super team going on here with their transfers. The Orange Bowl winners are the Nittany Lions. How Penn State lost 3 games during the regular season, I will never know. Penn State with 455 total yards. Iowa State 258. Graham, as you saw, was the player of the game. Barry with just 17 carries, but 142 yards. 8.3 yards per carry and a touchdown. Justin Jefferson with 3 catches, 104 yards and a TD. Micah Parsons with 4 tackles, tackle for loss, and 2 sacks. Check on Brock Purdy. He was 13 of 20, 210 yards, 2 TDs, and 1 pick. For all the marbles, number 6 Nebraska and number 9 Penn State will meet for the biggest game in college football. So Penn State is leading Nebraska 28-6 in the national championship game late in the 4th quarter. Early on, this was a scoreless game, but once Penn State put it on, they put it on Nebraska. And with that pick six, that definitely seals it right there. Nebraska had two great drives, and they both ended up in field goals. And if they could have ended up in touchdowns, it could have changed the game. The Penn State Nittany Lions are your national champs. They did all you had to do, and yes, they did get help from the transfer portal. Anyone could have got help from the transfer portal, and those guys just happen to choose Penn State. I appreciate you guys watching. If you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment if you'd like to see me rebuild a school, because I'm getting ready to do that pretty soon. Finished up with the Arch Manning series that will be coming out, as well as his NFL career. Also, let me know if you want to see the senior season of these guys, and for some of them it would be their redshirt junior seasons. Now, a number of them are going to go pro probably, but there will be a number that stay, and that will be fascinating to see who stays and who goes. Thank you guys so much for being here. I love you guys. You guys are made for a purpose. Don't ever forget that. And I'll see you guys soon. Take care.